Respected Chair, Professor Khare, Director General St. Josh, Dr. Ashok Kumar, Director Makais, Dr. Swarup Prasad Ghosh, uh, my co-panelist, uh, one and all present here from academia, from uh, Indian Armed Forces, or students, or gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. So my topic today, and thank you, sir, once again for reaffirming the timing is 13 minutes, 15 minutes. Thank you. Uh, but I have to cut down a lot because it's about the cultural consciousness about Indians, about the Indian Ocean, whether it's part of India or not, since the time immemorial. It may sound a bit confusing. Let me clarify it once again. It's basically the vitality of the Indian Ocean in cultural perspective, and I'll try to understand it through Indians' practice of tourism. And in doing so, I'll divide my lecture in two phases. On the first part, I'll focus on the pilgrimage, and on the second part, I'll focus on the ecotourism in Sundarban. Basically, on the first part, when I'm talking about pilgrimage, that is on Gangasagar or Gangasagar Mela, it talks about the Hindu understanding about Indian Ocean. And we often consider that the orthodox Hindu understanding about Indian Ocean is Kalapani. We are not about to cross it. But to my argument, this is not the right way to either to look into Indian Ocean or to decode Hindu understanding about Indian Ocean. Because apart from this understanding or this myth that Indian Ocean is Kalapani, which is not, we must understand that the coastal area and their practice of Hinduism is all about connecting with the ocean. If you look at the Jagannath Mandir in Puri, it talks about the Brahma Padartha from Dwarka, it went to Puri through, not through land route, it's through the Indian Ocean. First the Arabian Ocean, then through Bay of Bengal. So had it been Kalapani, and had it been untouchable, had it been something to avoid, how could our Daru Brahma or Brahma Padartha or Lord Jagannath could travel through this Indian Ocean? And it was not on a boat, it was just floating, that Brahma Padartha. It was a wood, and later it was given a shape. So, if we consider that Hindu understanding is essentially about outcasting Indian Ocean as Kalapani, it's not the right idea. If you travel to Bengal, uh, you start your journey from on road through the coastline. If you start driving from Chennai or from Pondicherry, wherever you feel like, from Mamallapuram to Kolkata on coast, you find multiple Buddhist sites. One very close to Vishakhapattanam, that is Totlakonda, and that is basically an ancient or pre-medieval business center for Indo-Sinhalese traders, Buddhist monks, and it was a center for trade, culture, and interaction. So if we consider that Indian Ocean is something that is segregating us, that is to be withdrawn or that to give up, that's not the right idea, even at that point of time. Now coming to Gangasagar, the idea of Gangasagar is it's a holy land, it's a holy place. And if you take bath on Makar Sankranti, I don't think I need to explain what Makar Sankranti is to this audience. You will have some uh, you will earn punya. Now, this understanding of punya is a bit important. You see, you read Shiv Puran or you read the Adi Shankaracharya's version of Shiva, it clearly means that Shiva is not about pap or punya. You come to very core understanding of Gita, it talks about that I am not about pap or punya. Pap or punya in that way, very secular, and why so? Because it's all about what you earn in this earth with your action. And, and spiritualism is not just about your action, it's something metaphysical. So when we are getting confused between pap and punya, we cannot understand that what is going on in Gangasagar Mela. People doing whatever sin and considering that if they go and take bath will solve their problem, it is nowhere written. But if you try to understand how Gangasagar has been referred in different uh, scriptures, like apart from Manu Samhita, in Mahabharata or in multiple Puranas, it talks about that this particular land, Sagar, is very important. And how this word Sagar emerged, it's after Sabar. And who are the Sabar? Sabar means uh, those non-Brahmins, Hindus, who were leading and surviving all the problems of that area. And these problems, including at even that point of time, you understand, uh, it includes Rohingyas. I'll come to that point later. I have nearly 7 minutes more. Uh, Now, what I'm trying to tell you that there is one myth about why this sagar is important, because here Ma Ganga meets the ocean, and it is considered that that is why this place is auspicious. But this is a largely established myth. It is not just because, I mean, it is not uh, Ma Ganga's presence only that makes it itself pure. Indian Ocean itself has also some kind of auspiciousness, and that is referred in multiple Puranas. And one to mention, and that is most important, uh, is the Anushasana Parva of Mahabharat and Vana Parva of Mahabharat. That we can't even ignore that Indian Ocean is also very important. It's not something to be outcast. Now, there are two dominant discourses in Bengal presently uh, that considers that there is something called Shab Tirtho Barbar, Ganga Sagar Ekbar. Now, thinkers like Nrsimha Prasad Bhaduri, they argue that since Banga was never part of the greater cultural consciousness of the Aryavarta, and Bengalis were not that way accepted, say for 3 or 4,000 years back, if somebody goes to Bengal, he used to be uh, not accepted in Aryavarta after, later. So this is one understanding, and they argue that that is why it is said that you can go to this auspicious land, but only once in your lifetime. You are permitted just because what you are doing for the dharmic purpose. But on the other hand, thinkers like Tushar Kanti Niyogi, he wrote, a research. It was published in Journal of Anthropological Survey of India in 1998, and it was mostly on field-based survey and archival understanding of British time documents and everything. His argument is, it is not about outcasting Bengalis. It is more about that this particular tirtha was the hardest of all. Why so? Number one, the muddy land, and it's all about the high tide and low tide. You start traveling from say Kolkata through rivers, and after 6 to 8 hours, you will have no water on your river, and it's just a muddy land. Your boat is choked. You are waiting for the high tide, and then you can move on. And the moment you are waiting to be the gala dinner for tigers, or for the Arakanian uh, pirates. Even at that point of time, Arakanian pirates were there, and that problem we are still suffering. And even after all this, if you survive and reach that Tirtha, there is no proper infrastructure. So typhoid and all other issues were there. So finally, usually 80% of the Tirtha Yatris, they used to die. And every year, their family men used to come to find whether they're alive or not, or if they're not alive, do their shraddha on that particular land. And otherwise also, you look at this land, this is the last maritime border of India's consciousness, where you say your last goodbye to the departed soul that you said that you did your funerals in some other parts, maybe in Vanaras or in Gaya or wherever you feel like. The same practice is available you find in Rameswaram. This is your last goodbye call. So, if we consider that Indian Ocean is about Kalapani, that's not the case. In Indian understanding, Indian Ocean is the frontier of Kalapani. Once you cross it and you go into a different culture, that is Kalapani, not Indian Ocean itself. So Indian Ocean was, my argument, Indian Ocean was very much there in Indian consciousness, or India's consciousness, or Indians' consciousness from the very beginning of our existence. And next, if you look, next part of my presentation is on Sundarban. How much time do I have, Tarasha ji? Can you tell me? 2 minutes I have. Okay. Okay, I was requested by Manojit to talk a few words on Sundarban tourism. I'm just focusing on the problems of Sundarban ecotourism. Number one, as I mentioned, that this particular area demands too much intervention and establishment of infrastructure by state, which eventually for last 70 years is not done. For whatever reason, I don't want to get into it, but of course for political reasons, there is no infrastructure development that way that it could attract foreign tourists. So if you go to Sundarban to have some world-class experience, you'll be very disappointed. This is my personal experience. Wherever you go in Sundarban, the experience as a tourist is poor. Let me be very honest. Second part is it's a cultural problem. And why so? Uh, if you have any connection with Bengal, or if you are a Bengali or not a Bengali, brought up in Kolkata, in your childhood, in our childhood, we used to find something, a poster like Cholun Beriye Ashi, let's go. So this let's go culture is a problem in ecotourism. And why so? Because ecotourism demands some conscious tourist. It's not like whoever can go, "Arey, let's go and booze and waste some money and resource, let's dump some plastic and come back." So this culture of weekend trips from Kolkata or Bidhannagar or this area to Sundarban is ruining, and ruining to what extent I can't even describe in this short time. So this ecotourism, in the name of ecotourism, what is going on in Sundarban is nothing but destruction of ecological balance. Even the economical aspect is not properly cultivated. That is the sad part, but what to do? I have to speak truth, not just what is I mean what sounds good. So with this, I wind up here. Thank you.